I wanted to go programming problem today. This one doing the palindrome number detection. So this is kind of the problem where you need to match the two digits on either end and make sure they all match going forward into the middle. A palindrome is anything where the left side and the right side of the string match equally. We'll see that in just a second, but this is another easy LeetCode programming problem. And I thought it'd just be fun to just go through again if you're going through technical interviews or just trying to practice your algorithms with some easy problems on LeetCode or HackerRank. I thought that this would be a good one to get started with. So with that, let's jump over to the problem. So we'll look at palindrome, and you can see it's rated easy. So we'll just go over to the description here. What you can see is we take a string of digits, in this case it's 121, and you want to make sure if it's a palindrome, meaning that if you read it the same way, either from the left or the right, it comes out the same. So 121 from the left is the same as 121 from the right. Similarly, -121 is not the same as 12, -1, and 10 and 01 are not the same. But if it were like 123, 21 is the same. Again, let me just write that here. 123, 21. This reads the same 123, 123. Likewise, if you had it more numbers, 123, 123. So these are essentially examples of palindromes, and let's see how we can detect that as true or false. So we'll do this with TypeScript. TypeScript is more commonly being used in web application development in big tech companies. JavaScript is okay too, so is Python or .NET. We could certainly go with any of those, but we'll stick with TypeScript. So I always like to start these problems with defining a result value. So in this case, the result is a Boolean, so let result colon Boolean equal, you could, typically I would pick false here, so let's just go with that. And we'll say return result. So you're already building up the structure for what you want your function to look like to solve this challenge, and I think this helps set your mindset a little bit and kind of get at ease. You've already written a full program at this point, but yes, let's try and solve this now. So we've defined the result. Now, the next step is, let's convert the integer to a string so that we can easily walk through it to compare the left to the right. There's probably better ways to do this, such as dividing by 10 to get the rightmost digit, or dividing by 100 in increments like that, but the easiest way is just to convert the integer to a string. Now, we can do this in JavaScript or TypeScript by just adding an empty string to the number, and that will convert it to a string. So we can say const. We're going to use constants. We're not modifying the string. str, and we're going to make this a string equals x plus empty string. So what we've done here is we've just converted the integer into a string so that we can enumerate the characters. That's pretty simple. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to do, you could think of for loops. So we're going to do a for loop for, let I equals 0, I is less than string.length, I plus plus. Now, you might think that this is the way to walk through the string, but now that I'm thinking about it, we need to not just, right, if you look at the problem here on the left side, we're not just walking through left to right, we have to actually compare the left side with the right side to the middle point. So another way to do this might be to walk through the string up until halfway through the length, but this will come out uneven. If the string is only 3 characters, then you're going to end up getting involved with things like math.floor halfway through the string, then you know that you can stop, you can side with the right side, and you can probably make that work, but I think a better way to do this is really to use a left side pointer and a right side pointer. And as they go across, you keep reading, make sure they match until they meet in the middle. And when they meet in the middle, then you know that you're done, as long as all the characters match. So to do that, we can define 2 pointers. We can say left is a number and it'll equal 0. And then we'll define the right pointer, which will also be a number, and it'll be equal to the length of the string minus 1. Now we're using lets because these variables will be modified, unlike the string, which is a constant that we're not modifying. And what we're going to do is we will enumerate each character on both sides of the string to match. Right, so we're going to look at the character at the left pointer, we're going to look at the character on the right pointer, and make sure that they match. And if they match, it's not a palindrome. If the 2 pointers are equal, then that means that we've hit the middle of the string, and we're done. Of course, if they cross, well, we're definitely done. So we don't want to go that far. Now, we don't need to use a for loop anymore because we're not just reading one way, right? So what we can do is, we just said when the 2 pointers collide. So what we'll do is we'll say while left is less than right, we're going to keep checking. While left is less than right. And then we also know that in this while loop, this is always important, to make sure that you terminate that while loop. It's always a good idea to put in that increment case before you do anything else. So we're going to say left is going to be incrementing, left plus plus, and then it's going to be decrementing, right side minus minus. And we can actually give a comment here and say advance the left and right pointers. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to compare the characters that each pointer is pointing to. So the way that we can do that is we can say, we can say constant ch1 for character 1 will equal string of left. You know, while we're at it, let's just, we're doing TypeScript, right? So let's practice our variable type definitions. It's good practice. A constant ch2, character 2 will be a string equal to string of right. I had a little semicolon issue there, okay. Now we want to compare the 2 characters sides to match. So this is pretty easy to do. All we have to do is say if ch1 is not equal. Now, we're going to use the explicit not equals, right? 2 equal signs instead of 1. If we just had 1, this is fine too, this will work. But by including an explicit equality, we're comparing not just the values, but also the type. This is good practice too. Now, the 2 types are both strings, so it doesn't matter which one you use here, but I'm just going to do it like this for, it looks better. I think interviewers would like to see that. They might ask you about that. What's the difference between implicit, right, between implicit and explicit equality? And there's your answer. One will compare both the value and the type, and one will compare just the value itself. We'll do both here, so we'll do explicit. And what we're going to do is if the 2 characters on the both ends of that string are different, then this is not a palindrome. Not a palindrome. I spelled that wrong. You will not get credit deducted for that, of course. Not a palindrome. So what we can do is we'll set result equal to false, and we can end here, we can terminate. Now, you can actually return the result if you wanted to. You could just straight out return the result, and that's fine. I like to have the flow of the program go all the way through, so I'll just do a break statement. And we're going to return it right here anyway. Okay, let me expand this so we have a little bit more room to see. So result equals false. So now we're setting result equal to false. So you probably want to set the result up here to a different value since the default now is going to be true. And we're looking for a condition to make it false. So here we found a condition to make it false, so now we don't need to say else result. You can't say this anyway because we haven't walked through the whole string. So if we get all the way through this while loop to the point that we're down here without finding two characters that do not match, then we know the result is true, which is why this can stay as it is. So I think at this point, this should be working. You could even walk through some test cases if you wanted to, but let's go ahead and run this. Let's see where we get. Okay, that's pretty good. This is an easy one, you know, so you can see case 1 is correct, case 2 is correct, case 3 is correct. If we submit this, I suspect that it should be fine because it's a pretty simple problem. I don't think we missed anything. Yeah, so you can see that's pretty good. Now, one of the things that you might think about is, could we optimize this? Well, one way would be to not convert the number to a string. We're comparing the string, right? Well, if you wanted to just compare the digits, you could do that too. It would be, you'd have to do a little bit more work to do division, to isolate the rightmost digit and the leftmost digit and have that in a while loop. And that's certainly another way to solve this. It might even be faster, although I suspect, I'm not sure how much faster it would be. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video and solving the palindrome detection problem. This is a great practice problem just to get yourself warmed up in technical interviews or in algorithms or just playing around with a new programming language. So if you did enjoy this video, I'd appreciate you commenting. Let me know if you'd like me to make more of these types of videos doing other LeetCode problems. And also like and subscribe if you do enjoy this. And otherwise, thank you.